Always appreciated.
They loved it, didn't they? Yeah. Oh, Linda's
I
football
was
team.
getting messages to say, you're on the football page.
Brilliant.
Evening. Hello, Sharon.
Hello, Jackie. Hello, everyone.
Um, and a thank you, anyone that's watching. I'm just going to say a few words about Sharon. We've been friends for best part of 20 years, I reckon now, isn't it?
It's probably, oh gosh, it must be, yeah. Yeah, it must be
Yeah,
getting
yeah. When I come along and saw your talk in Ringwood, I think it was,
yes, it was. Yeah.
yeah, on essences.
Yep. Yep.
Um, but you know so much more than that, without a doubt. Like every chat we have, there's so much more comes into it. So at the minute, I asked on my timeline page a few weeks ago for healing for wonderful Andy Anderson. And this angel that I'm speaking to tonight, Sharon, is his main carer at the moment and doing everything for him. And she's just incredible, really wonderful. I mean, there's a team that's helping, but you are the mainstay of all of that. And so we were having a chat this morning, catch up, see how Andy is, and anyone that can send healing for Andy is very gratefully accepted. But then we got onto the subject. I think I spoke about the three eye atlas.
I think you did. And Jack, did you want to record this or no? Or is it
Well
all
done, well done.
happening? No, okay, I just want to say, because I know you said
Absolutely, I'll start that just quickly again for the recording because it's going on YouTube.
oh, right.
So yeah. So I'm just introducing Sharon, who I've known for a very long time. We were having a chat this morning because she's looking after Andy Anderson, who really would appreciate any healing that you could send to him. Keep him in your thoughts, love, prayers. And I'm sure there's people that you all know that would need that as well. So yes, we were having this conversation where Sharon does essences. In fact, I've got her page open. I'm just going to tell you, Sharon Keenan, natural health, regenerate with nature. So you'll find, it is sharonkeenan.com. Wonderful. There's so much information on there. But yeah, so we're having this conversation, and mistletoe come into the conversation because I mentioned the three eye atlas. And I've also got up a page that explains about the three eye atlas, because if you've not heard of it, I just wanted a brief explanation. It's going to be closest to us on the 19th of December. It's a comet. And it was found in July by astrologers, or something that looks in the sky anyway. And so yeah, from a metaphysical perspective, people say that this comet symbolizes new energies entering our solar system, awakening dormant aspects of human potential, triggering a rise in collective awareness, supporting personal transformation, a sense of cosmic connection and unity. So I'm sure there's lots more information you can look up on YouTube and put in Three Eye Atlas, and so much comes up about it, so you wouldn't even know where to start probably. But the exciting thing about it is that on the 19th of December, and even now the energy is building towards it, it's going to be the closest to Earth. It'd be close to the sun, but the closest that is likely to be to Earth. And it's millions of light years ahead of us, but it's also helping our DNA, activating our third eye. Three eye atlas, I've also heard it be called the third eye atlas. So awakening our consciousness more. And so when I said that, Sharon said, oh, that could be a difficulty for people if it is awakening, because it's all head. So shall I let you explain that? Because I just thought this was so interesting for you all to know, if you know about any of this, and obviously where Sharon does the essences as well. Mistletoe come into the conversation.
oh, thank you, Jack. Yeah, it was really interesting that the way that conversation turned, because what you were saying to me was what were my thoughts on it? What would my feelings around it? And
Yes,
what I've been feeling around it, every time I've kind of felt into the energy of it, I've just had mistletoe step into my consciousness. And like you say, I work with essences, I make flower essences and other vibrational essences. And actually just to go turn back on ourselves, you say when we met 20 years ago, I gave a talk at Ringwood,
yes,
Positive Living Group, that was on essences, and I was talking a bit about the Alaskan essences.
yes,
And my teacher of the Alaskan essences, the wonderful, lovely Steve Johnson, who's no longer in a body, one of his many wise teachings that he left us was to say that everything's got to go through the heart. All healing that we do has to go through the heart. And so where we ended up with our conversation with mistletoe is mistletoe helps us to live from the heart, really. It helps us to open the heart. And many of us have had to, because of the journey we've been on through lifetimes, our hearts have become very, very pained through loss, abuse, damage. And as a consequence, the heart energy will close and we can become full of grudges. We can become very resentful, angry. There's a phrase called heart anger, when you literally, your heart will shut down and you just cut off. So there's this kind of disconnect from the heart and the head. So when you were talking about the influence of Three Eye Atlas, and it's like, well, if we're moving into this energy of this big collective awakening of our third eyes, which is beautiful and essential as far as evolution, but to make that transition as smooth as possible, we kind of need to open our hearts, really. My sense and feeling is that the Three Eye Atlas is a big part of that. It's a big part of the heart opening. But if we can make that transition as smooth as possible, to me, that's the message of mistletoe that I've been getting for the last sort of 9 years or so, is about, because mistletoe, one of the messages that it gave me when it came in, when the essence was made, was the phrase, and it gives me goosebumps when I think about it. The phrase was, "It's all light." Okay, and it kind of said it to me, to my third eye, in the the word all was in capital letters, like all, it's all light, like everything is made of light, as we know. And there's a lot of very, very clever science boffins can explain that in quantum terms. Everything is light moving at different rates. So whatever our own relationship is with light, whether that is we're being a bit blasted by a lot of cosmic light coming in, a lot of solar flares, a lot of solar waves, and all of these things which are beautiful and necessary for the evolution of our consciousness, but they can be very, very stabilizing. And what I've found over the last several years is that whenever there's a big wave, a big solar flare wave comes in, I'm guided to take mistletoe, and it just smooths out my energy system and enables me to ground in the light. And I think that's the kind of the connection between mistletoe and Three Eye Atlas, is that it's bringing a lot of light, a lot of love, a lot of beautiful consciousness with us. But for us to be as smoothly meeting that as possible, if we've got a lot of unresolved heart wounds, which we all have, we all carry, then
don't we all have? Yeah.
we all do, and that's kind of like what we're seeing everywhere. So the mistletoe essence helps to open the heart, because what can happen if we have too much happening in the third eye, it can destabilize us mentally. So, we could just get going even more into the head rather than into the heart. So this is like a big collective opportunity, an awakening. It's a beautiful, massive spiritual awakening, and it's like that clarion call to live from the heart. But if any of us have got any stuff around that, which is difficult, then it's we need to go into nature, and connect with nature in whatever form works for us, grounding ourselves, bathing in the light, even if it's just, take your glasses off and get that light in your pineal gland first thing in the morning. Just embracing the light, the natural light as it exists on the planet. And mistletoe really helps us with that, on that kind of very esoteric, energetic level. It does amazing things physically when you take it physically. It's a cure for cancer. It's been known as a cure for cancer, for example, for over 100 years in mainland Europe. It warms and it softens and it heals. That's why the Druids, they called it all heal, and it supports and enhances any healing practice that you're involved in. And it's like a cosmic all-rounder. Oh, and that's a really key thing as well about it, because when you think about how mistletoe grows, because obviously this time of year is when we see it the most, isn't it? Because it's more visible. It grows up in the air. It doesn't, it's not a plant that grows on the ground and grows upwards. It lives in the air. And it has this, one of the phrases that came in when the essence was made was it connects us to our cosmic roots. And I feel the three eye atlas is bringing us back to our cosmic roots, our spiritual blueprint, our original divine blueprint, is being enhanced with the arrival of 3IA. And mistletoe does that because it helps us to, you know, be in right relationship with light, whatever that is for us. It kind of, what I love about it is it just meets us where we are. It doesn't boss us about and judge us for how we are. It just brings us what we need, type thing. So yeah.
Amazing. Honestly, I love that. I had truth chills when you said
Oh,
about in the circle. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yes, in the air.
in the air.
Um, it's so important. And so in that conversation that, we were talking about, it was just so interesting, the connection that was made. How easy would it be to get the mistletoe if anyone wanted?
Oh, it's super easy. You could just you click on my website if you want to order some. If you're in the UK, if you're outside the UK, it's a little bit more of a challenge because of, whatnots, rules and whatnots, but there's always ways around it. But there's also, funny enough, about 2 weeks ago, I think Mistletoe guided me to create a little package called Mistletoe Gifts. And it actually combines the mistletoe essence, like the original one, which is this one, original mistletoe essence that was made in Southampton, made from a big mistletoe branch that I was given in one of the parks in Southampton, with an ebook. I wrote an ebook a few years ago called The Magic of Mistletoe, which brings a lot of other things together, a lot more the physical side of it as well as the metaphysical. And there's a mistletoe meditation. So I've on my Facebook page at the moment, if you go onto it, you can just scroll down and you can find it and you can just get hold of it that way. But yeah, mistletoe really wants to be connected with right now. It's a plant of ancient, I mean, ancient use. Hippocrates, like the father of medicine, used mistletoe. The Druids have used mistletoe. It's like but now it feels like its time is now. If that makes sense. It really feels like, because it can heal a lot of ancient wounds as well and ancient patterns. Oh, well done. There you go. Oh my
I
goodness.
just
Oh,
wanted to show that because that was the I don't know how to get a big
oh,
picture.
that's lovely. Yeah, that is from the
That's your picture, yeah, that you shared
Right.
today.
Yeah, that's from the West Park where the mistletoe branch was given to me. And this is really interesting because I'd made a deeper vow to nature the day before, the night before, as part of a ritual. And then the next day, I'd been going. I mean, there's a big story about me and this mistletoe um, on this particular tree, and it's helped me through grief and loss and connecting with a very spiritual part of myself. And I'd started to make an essence from little sprigs that was gifted. But this particular day, after I'd made the after I'd made the deeper vow to nature to be more of a voice for nature, because nature hasn't had her voice heard for a few hundred years. Before then, we all were deeply connected and rooted in nature all the time. But in the last couple of hundred years, there's been a massive disconnect, and other things have really taken us out of that rhythm and out of all that beauty and wisdom. And nature's very alive and very conscious and is our friend, actually. And is also evolving in consciousness alongside us. So as we evolve as humanity in consciousness, nature is up leveling the same. So there's lots of plants are really wanting to help us with that process, but we've been kind of busy. um, the way I had it described to me was I was told to call the range of essences that I've brought through Earthsong essences. And I thought, oh, that's a beautiful name. And then I was told, because the earth is always singing, but we're not always listening to those songs. We're listening to other things. It's like where you dial the radio, it's where what you listen to is what you hear. It doesn't mean to say that that's all there is. There's loads of other things there. But the thing about Earth Song is it helps every time you take an essence, whether it's one of mine or any other essence, it brings you back into harmony with yourself, and then we come into harmony with each other, and then we come into harmony with the earth. And that's kind of the time that we're in now. It is that time of all of us, that unified consciousness that we've been talking about and meditating on for like, well, since the Great Convergence in the late 1889 or whenever. But for donkey's years, we've all been working towards this time and holding the light. And now it's kind of coming. It seems to be coming on the 19th of December, about tea time, I think. Don't know when. But
But,
Mr.
but yeah, I mean, I just felt I didn't take a lot of notice when I first heard about Three Eye Atlas,
Mm,
but now it comes up in so many
mm,
conversations,
mm.
and so I thought it was really important that
It is,
that was said, and then saying to you about balancing our chakras as well, being in
mm,
balance in
yeah,
our
yeah,
yeah is very important, and we can do that. We don't need to go to anyone. We literally can breathe in.
yeah, literally, yeah,
Yeah, for the root chakra, the solar plexus, go through each one in a meditation sort of thing.
yeah,
Like one that I've done before was breathing in um a beautiful red and letting go of the
mm,
any mucky
mm,
red, whatever. And then the next color, orange, yellow, green or pink for the heart, blue for the throat, and
yeah,
yeah,
just
well, everyone knows the chakra colors, I'm sure, but yeah, but that's one way to do it. Obviously, you can go to people that can, I'm sure you'd be able to do it, rebalance the chakras for people. Um, but yeah, it's very important for us to stay, which helps us ground,
yeah,
which is so important as well at this time.
yeah, 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 exactly that. Yeah, you're so right, Jackie. Because it's now, it's like we are spiritual beings, aren't we, in a human body? But it's like now the challenge is to be grounded. It's very easy to kind of get lost in the spiritual realms, because I know I'm putting my hand up to that. I was like quite a space cadet. For as soon as my spiritual awakening happened, I was off.
Yeah,
Literally, literally. And it's been a long journey of grounding and being grounded, so that I can ground that spiritual energy into my body. That I can bring that cosmic wisdom in and live with it every day. Embody it. And it's now, and I feel that's the big challenge for us all, especially us light workers and healers and empaths and sensitives. We are really great at being very light filled, but it's kind of like allowing that light to be grounded in the body. And the mistletoe, it kind of helps with that, the denser energies that we've been holding for so many generations and lifetimes. Because it's got a very ancestral and ancient pattern to it. It's a very ancient plant being, mistletoe. So
it's
yeah.
reminded me of the other thing I said to you about. I've been watching the near-death
Oh yeah,
experiences.
that's right. You were saying about that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And that, so what we're, our whole life really is to heal.
Mm,
And we're not healing just for ourselves, we're healing for our ancestors as well.
yeah.
And so all the essences that you talk about, and I did the most beautiful flower. Do you remember I done that
Oh
course
yeah.
with you?
Yes, yeah.
When you put each flower up on the
Yeah,
screen. So even me showing you that picture
yeah.
of the, not showing you, well, obviously
But
showing you, but
yeah,
anyone watching,
yeah.
seeing that picture of the mistletoe, that
Mm,
will also
yes.
embody into you, won't it?
It
The
will. It will,
essence of it.
because when that picture was taken, the healing frequency was present in the picture. So whenever you look at those images, you to the extent that your higher self is ready and willing and able, you will then receive a healing on some level, because it's all vibrational. As we know, it's frequency medicine. These are what essences are. And the frequency traditionally has been held in water. Obviously, like you have an essence, and it's suspended in water, or like you have mistletoe flowers. They have a flower which is amazing, and that's suspended in water. But the frequency is there. And also like the work of Veda Austin, and
Yes.
bringing together, building on the work of Dr. Emoto, these fantastic people. It's showing us that water is like, it's like all the water molecules hold and everywhere hold all the frequencies. So you can connect with it through water as a medium, just through your thoughts. And that's kind of, so everything's gonna is kind of speeding up. And I feel the three eye atlas is a big part of that. It's the speeding up. So if you need to kind of be give your system some soothing and calibration. Get out in nature, connect with any plant is going to help you. But if you've got access to seeing mistletoe, or if not, even looking at the images of mistletoe, or even I've had this experience once. A friend of mine was I won't go into the whole story, but she was involved in a very bad accident and had to be moved from one hospital to another. And I sent her a bottle of mistletoe because it does heal on all levels. It's like an all heal. It does lots of different things. And but before she actually physically received the bottle, she called the energy in of mistletoe, and it supported her through this journey from one hospital to another, where she was basically, her back was broken, really, and she couldn't move, and she had to be moved very carefully. But she said she could feel mistletoe coming in, and it was like joining the dots of each, bringing her being, back into integrity. So, we can all do that now. You see, this is the time we're in. We can all do that. But if we need help to get there, then I strongly advise connecting with essences, because they just support that process and stabilize our energy fields, which is what we need.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I found it even with Freddie recently, because he's terrified of the fireworks.
Mm.
And these lovely girls sent me, they're only tiny, but they're little gel, little your better health. Um, but it's just a smell. It's an oil that you put on your hand
Oh,
and
okay.
let him smell it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And
And
that
it's so
helpful. Yeah.
all from nature.
All from
So
nature. Yeah. So,
anything like that. But like you say about Vader Austin as well,
yeah.
what we're understanding from that, the water and the
Mm.
intelligence of water, which you were right on, because even when we had Dr. Emoto come to Southampton, you actually had a stall there, didn't
Yes,
you, with
I
your
did.
essences?
Essences, yeah, we did. Yeah, I had a store of
Oh
essences there
yeah.
because actually when Dr. Emoto's book came out and the essence community I was working with at the time, we were all breathing a big sigh of relief and said, "Oh my God, people are now going to understand how essences work." Because for years it's been quite difficult to explain them in a way because they've been very because they are so non-physical and it is subtle energy, and the world has been in a very dense sort of space. So those of us working with essences, as soon as that book came out, it's like we can actually show somebody how essences work, because there's the picture, there's the word, there's the emotion, there's the what it's done to the water structure. So when someone feels a bad emotion, that's what it's doing to our own system. When not to say any emotion is actually bad, actually, it's only when an emotion is out of harmony, when it's not expressed, like
Mm.
anger, as you know, is one of my, I often say I've got a PhD in anger. It's like it's one of my main lessons in this lifetime is to harmonize my anger and help others do the same, because it's a very powerful emotion, but and especially for women, it's very misunderstood and not honored. And if it's suppressed and repressed, it's very dangerous to the physical body. It's very toxic. But if you can learn how to move it through the body, it's really powerful. It makes you a force for positive change, rather than a victim of your life. So there's nothing wrong with any emotion. It's only when it's out of harmony. You've got to be careful. You've got to try and find a way to sort of smooth that energy and move it through you, sort of thing.
You said just before we come on air, because we were talking about someone that's, shows themselves to be a very angry person,
Mm.
and you said it's fear.
Yeah, because this is the lovely thing. And my other main strand of work is with Jin Shinjitsu, which is a Japanese self-healing system.
Yes,
Because I love self-healing because it
yes.
gives us back our power. But very, very simply, there are five main emotions that are, or attitudes, as we call them, that we work with, and they are in essence worry, fear, anger, sadness, and trying too hard. And just by simply lovingly holding one of these fingers, dropping the shoulders and just breathing out just moves that energy through. And we were talking about fear and anger. And the thing is, worry, there's nothing wrong with it. But if it's not expressed or given its voice, it turns to fear again. And we're moving from this state, from collectively from fear to love, you know,
Yeah,
because of itself, there's nothing wrong with fear. It's all of these emotions show us something needs to change. But it's if they're repressed and they're not allowed to change, that's when they become toxic on every level to the system. So if fear is not expressed, it turns to anger. And we all know what finger that is. That's a very easy finger to know. The anger finger, everyone knows it, you know. But
Yes.
this system's thousands of years old, but in our consciousness, we know we know which one the anger finger is, you know. And sadness, grief, and then trying too hard, like efforting, you know, you're not being your authentic true self, you know, you're trying to be someone else, you're trying to be something or someone you're not. And that's kind of what our culture has conditioned us to do as well, you know, just to be not be our loving, vibrant, radiant selves. It's who we all came to be. And I feel that's what Three Eye Atlas is about as well. That's like you, I haven't really looked into it very deeply intellectually, but when I feel it, that's what I feel is it's that wave of love, of a love that we've never actually known before.
Mhm.
We've never, as humans, as a collective, we've never known. And so it's that newness is, you know, is exciting. But as we were talking about earlier, it's like if your heart's really shut down, it might be a bit bumpy. So whatever it takes to open your heart. And actually, mistletoe flowers is a really quick head to heart opener. It's like the course you spoke about that I did with the flowers. That was the
Yeah.
Alchemy of the Heart course.
Oh,
And
yes, that's it.
yeah, the Alchemy of the Heart, and that was all flowers, all Alaskan essences to open the heart to kind of. And I know many people did that journey with me many times because you know I had to keep doing it myself as well. I did that journey many times, and I still do. You know, because there's always stuff in the heart to clear out. You know, there's always bit of stuff
Every
in there.
flower, you would tell us by
Yeah,
looking at that flower what it was giving to us and what our body recognized it to be and what it did for
that was
us.
lovely, wasn't it? That was
It was
lovely.
really
That was
lovely, special.
beautiful. That was very special. Yeah, yeah. I was lucky to. Yeah, that was a blessed time. That was. Yeah.
Honestly, I hope this has been understandable enough. I think, so yeah, let me
Sure.
just go back to your website, or you know it straight off anyway, but let's just say it's Sharon Keenan, that's KEENAN.com, SharonKeenan.com, and it will all be about, oh yeah, Earthsong Essences, about Sharon, work with me, shop, yeah. So beautiful anyway. Everything you do, it's so really genuinely, authentically
Oh,
lovely. It
oh,
honestly is. Yeah, I'm so blessed to know you.
likewise,
And
likewise.
honestly, you need the healing as well sent to
I
you.
do. I really do. I'm open to receiving a lot of healing. Anyone else that's been a carer knows how challenging it is on every level, you know, and it just breaks you open. You just have to keep opening up to receive the healing and the support. And like you say, I'm part of a team, you know, but
You
there's
are a mainstay of
but
it, but
I'm the
you're
main.
making sure the team's helping.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm the linchpin, but
yes.
I need to be looked after as well, you know, and I need to receive the help as well. So, and I think that's the time we're all moving into as well. We all just need to really open up and receive more support and ask for more help. Keep
I
asking for
think
help.
that's where the near-death experiences that I
Right.
spoke about come
Yeah.
into it, because we're not here for what we can gain and what we're be recognized or anything.
Mm,
We're here for service to others,
mm.
to, well, for healing ourselves, but also we'll be remembered for the love that we've shared with people, because at the end of the day, everything is love, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so on the 21st of December 2012, everyone's heart ignited, but
Mm,
we didn't all know that. I'd
mm,
certainly know that,
mm,
but it happened whether you knew it or not.
mm.
And then it's for us to carry that forward so that so many more people know now that, love is the only answer to everything. Life is about love, but
Yeah.
also you have to heal yourself first to get to that point, most likely,
Yeah.
and you might not even feel you need healing, or if someone says, oh, do you want healing, or offers healing, um you might not think you've got anything wrong with you, but it's like ancestral healing.
Yes.
It's, yeah, it's so
Yeah.
so
It's interesting you should mention that as well, the ancestral healing, because I feel that those of us who, involved in healing now, we are doing, our ancestors weren't able to do a lot of that because they were just in survival mode. They were surviving all the
Absolutely.
time and they just didn't have time to process these emotions. And no wonder we're so sensitive and overwhelmed and dedicated to healing because we came in to help be part of that. They did what they could for us. And now we're here. And I've got goosebumps now because there's the Mount Etna mistletoe, which was I went to Sicily. Actually, me and Andy went together on a holiday. We had a holiday in Sicily together last year, and I'd just come to the end of a mistletoe journey, like a 3-week mistletoe journey that I'd ran with a group of lovely folks, and so it was strange going from the northern hemisphere, being immersed in mistletoe, going to the Mediterranean where there's like olive trees and lemon trees and no mistletoe. Anyway,
Yes.
very long story short, because I know time things, but we were doing we planned to do a hike up Mount Etna, but it was nearly cancelled because there'd been a big storm the day before, and they won't let you go up when it's too windy because it's dangerous. Anyway, and there was snow everywhere, but thankfully the weather cleared. Up we went up there. Actually, it was Andy that found it. He called me. I was walking along. He called Sharon, and I looked around, and he'd found this big branch of mistletoe up Mount Etna. Amazing. The guide, I just well, I had kittens basically. I mean, I knew I was going to be doing a mistletoe. I just knew mistletoe was there for me. It was a strange feeling, and I had my essence kit with me, so I made an essence with that. The guide who was with us, he said that he'd never seen it growing there before. Like, he'd been a guide for 9 years and had been going up Mount Etna 6 days a week for 9 years. Never seen mistletoe up there. What was fascinating was one, it was up there. Two, it was growing on a broom, like the plant broom. And a few years previous to this, when I lived in Spain, I made a Spanish broom essence, which was for clearing anger. It's very good for harmonizing anger. And the message I was given from the Mount Etna mistletoe, combined with what the guide told me, like as part of the history, Mount Etna, no one's ever died in a eruption from Mount Etna, big, most active live volcano in Europe. When Mount Etna blows, she doesn't erupt like quickly. She blows slowly from the sides. So she gives everyone a chance to get out of her way. And in Sicily, they call her the mother. Mount Etna's the mother, and everyone's very devoted to her. They say she's our protectress. She protects us. She's our mother. And what the Mount Etna mistletoe is for, it's for healing ancestral anger from up the mother line, from women. Is it women, just the female anatomy, mothers to daughters to mothers to daughters, to all the way up. Any unexpressed or anger that's come down, and it has.
Yes.
And so it heals that on the ancestral line. And all of the mistletoe essences work on the ancestral level. They're very good in, what do they call that? Oh gosh, um, family constellation work. Yeah, I've
Oh,
got a
yeah.
friend at the moment specifically calling for that, but they go really well with that. And I've certainly used mistletoe for my lineage, you know.
Beautiful.
So it's there. Thank you for using that word ancestral. It's a big reminder.
Honestly, thank you, Sharon. I hope people get something from this because it really, for us, it was like wonderful to even, I wasn't even thinking of anything like
No,
that
I
when I
wasn't.
spoke
No,
about three
no.
eye atlas, all in the head, but we need to go to the heart always.
We need to go for the heart. That's the shortest distance, but the
Mm,
longest distance is from the head to the heart. It's
yeah.
just there, but it's like it can take a lifetime to come there. But we've got nature to help us and each other as well to help us with that journey. So, but mistletoe's specifically, especially good at that sort of thing. Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you, anyone that's
Yeah,
watching.
thanks everyone. Thanks for listening. And any questions, come and find me. And
Lovely,
yeah,
lovely.
very
Thank
happy, very happy to talk about mistletoe any time of the year.
you.
Okay,
Lovely. Thank you. Thanks a
thanks.
lot.
Yeah,
See
bye.
you soon.
See you soon. Yeah. Bye.